Hi everyone, it's Angelia Trinidad, CEO and founder of Passion Planner, and you're watching The Game Changer, where I share game-changing ideas that have helped me on my journey to becoming a millionaire, but most importantly, have helped me live more intentionally. So today's video is about one of my favorite books. It is the book that has changed my life in terms of interpersonal relationships and just communicating with people that I love, and that book is The 4 Agreements. So this book is a book that I actually make my whole team read whenever they join the team because I think it's that important. And what I wanted to do today is pretty much give you a little synopsis of the whole book and also a little bit about each of the agreements, and hopefully you can use this information and apply into your life. What this book is about is our lives are made up of agreements that we make with ourselves that we either learn through the people around us, the people we respect, or things that we've internalized ourselves. All of these things lead up to rules or agreements that we keep to ourselves, and we build our realities around them. And what Don Miguel Ruiz talks about is having these 4 agreements that can transform your life if you use them consistently. So the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. I'm going to be kind of drawing out a mind map as I explain these things. So the first one is be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word means to be sinless with your word. So what that means, because that's a little abstract, is your word can be used to pretty much say something bad about someone, to lie, to say something good about someone, to tell the truth. And being impeccable with your word is to not use your word to sin. So peccatos means to sin, and is not, and peccatos or peccable is to sin. So to not sin with your word. And how do you sin with your word? Well, you can lie, you can cheat, you can say things you don't mean, you can say harsh words. All of these things can lead to people reacting negatively towards you, and you're actually hurting yourself as you say these things. So being impeccable with your word is telling the truth, being able to use your word to spread positive energy to other people, and just use your word as your bond so that people trust what you say. So number 2 is don't take anything personally. What this means is to realize that everything that anyone does, good or bad, isn't because of you. It is because of them and their reality. So, for example, if someone were to insult you, that's actually not about you. It's about something that they're struggling with internally, and they're projecting that out onto you. So one quote that I love from John Wooden is to take a praise and a criticism with the same grain of salt. So really not letting other people's outside opinion affect you as much as your internal opinion of yourself. And I think that's really, really important, because then if someone says something, you don't take it personally. You start to understand kind of where they're coming from, where their motivations are, and you can operate from that, as opposed to imagining that the whole universe and everyone's universe revolves around you, because in all reality, that's not the case. It is everyone has their own sense of reality. Every single day, everyone's trying to meet their own needs. So agreement number 3 is don't make assumptions. This is one of the hardest agreements that I've had to internalize, which is to not leap to conclusions, to ask questions, to mitigate this need to know the answer right away, and to be kind of okay with the uncertainty of not knowing exactly what someone else's truth is. Because it's really easy to draw assumptions, to jump to conclusions, and find that comfort in having an answer. But a lot of times our answers are incorrect. So to not make assumptions is to be able to ask people questions, let them answer, give them their point of view and their clarity, so that you can operate from a common reality. So that's that. The next piece is, which is the last agreement, is always do your best, no more, no less. And I think this was a really great agreement for me to learn, because I am a perfectionist, and now I'm a general perfectionist. Like, I go for 90%. 90% is solid for me. But when I thought of doing my best, I always thought it meant be the best. And that's not what it means. It means doing your best with what you have in the moment, the energy that you have, the patience that you have, the resources that you have, and that being enough. And a lot of times I feel like people do their best, but they're actually trying to be the best. And because of that, it creates a lot of stress and a lot of pressure to perform. And I think that remembering to do your best, to not overexert yourself, will lead you to not only a fulfilled life, but a happy life that is both balanced between putting in effort, but also letting things kind of be. And I think that's really, really important. And it is a message that I feel like needs to be heard in this day and age where everyone is trying to be the valedictorian or the A+ student. And I know for myself, that's something that I was struggling with. And when I read these words for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, like this is enough, and that could be enough. And it's something that really has helped me really enjoy the process of my life as opposed to just aim for perfection all the time. So my metaphor for this is baking. So when you bake something, you need to leave the thing in the oven, in this case, the loaf of bread in the oven, for a certain amount of time. And if you leave it for too long, it'll ruin it. If you leave it in for too short, you'll ruin it. So finding that perfect amount of time and energy and heat to make this bread is really like a metaphor that I use of like, am I over baking my bread, or is it good? And I think that keeping that in mind and understanding that more effort and more energy and more heat is not always better. So this is a corgi bread. So if you ever feel burnt out, think of this corgi bread. So I hope you liked this video. It's honestly one of my favorite books. I've read this book probably close to 20 times, and it's something that I read and I learn something new every single time. So I would highly recommend it. Again, if you like this video, click that like button. Also, subscribe to this channel. We make videos every week where we bring tools like this that you can apply and make your life better. So we'd also love to hear your favorite books. So please leave us a comment of your favorite personal development books, and who knows, I might do another book review on it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start, and I'll see you next time. Bye.